So, you've survived the first few hours of The Last of Us and think you've got a handle on the infected. Then, the lights go out. You hear a clicking sound, and boom, panic mode. But as terrifying as that first clicker encounter is, that's just scratching the surface. Over time, the Cordyceps infection warps humans into increasingly grotesque and dangerous forms. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. Let's break down every variant of the infected, from the freshly turned runners to the monstrous Rat King. Buckle up, this is gonna get fungal. Runner. Every infection starts somewhere, and that somewhere is the runner. These are the earliest stage of infected, people who've only recently been taken over by Cordyceps. Physically, they still look pretty human. Bloodshot eyes, shaky movements, and veins crawling across their skin like roots under glass. But the real giveaway? The mouth. Dozens of thin fungal tendrils are growing out, and that's where the infection spreads. A bite from a runner is enough to end your days as a free-thinking human. Behavior-wise, they're hyper-aggressive and totally out of control, screaming, spasming, lunging at anything that moves. It's like the fungus is flooding their bodies with adrenaline, pushing them into a violent frenzy. They've lost all sense of self-preservation. Runners will sprint full force, even if it means smashing into walls or falling over themselves. They don't care. They just want to spread the infection. They're dangerous in packs, but fragile alone. A quick shot or stealth kill takes them out easy enough, but don't underestimate them. One slip up, and they'll be all over you. Stalker. Now we're getting weirder. Give the infection more time, and runners morph into stalkers. This is where humanity really starts to disappear. Fungal plates begin to push out from under the skin, distorting the face and limbs. The eyes go yellow, and the infection starts to erupt out of the sockets in horrifying ways. Not pretty. Stalkers live up to their name. They're not mindless like runners. They're smarter, more strategic. Some have even been seen hiding in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to ambush prey. One even creaked on purpose to lure Ellie into a trap, then vanished, circled around, and attacked from behind. That's next-level predatory behavior. You can usually hear them before you see them. Wet, squishy footsteps and low groaning. They're less common than runners and clickers, but way more unpredictable. And the worst part, they still have enough speed to mess you up if you're not careful. Clicker. This is where the infection goes full horror movie. Clickers are what you get when someone's been infected for over a year. By this point, the fungus has completely reshaped the skull. The head splits open. The brain is overtaken, and what's left is a face consumed by Cordyceps growth, sharp teeth, and zero eyesight. That's right, clickers are blind. But don't get cocky. They've evolved echolocation, using clicks to map out their environment like bats. Make a sound, and they will sprint in your direction with terrifying speed. Even the sound of a bottle or brick is enough to trigger a reaction. Their strength is insane. One clicker took on both Joel and Ellie at once. Another mauled an antler to death. 6 of them took down a bear. They're also incredibly durable. Multiple stabs to the neck, still going. Several gunshots might not be enough. Only a clean headshot or high-powered round will reliably take them down. Clickers don't mess around. They're some of the most iconic enemies in the game for a reason. If you hear that clicking in the dark, it's already too late. Bloater. Okay, now we're in monster territory. Bloaters are extremely rare but unforgettable. These guys have been infected for years, maybe even decades. Their bodies have ballooned with fungal growth, and they're covered in armor-like plates made of hardened cordyceps. Good luck getting a bullet through that. Bloaters are massive. They tower over the player, and their sheer strength is terrifying. They don't bite. They obliterate. One punch from a bloater can snap bones or break jaws. They can literally tear people apart. On top of that, they have a unique attack, throwing spore bombs. These explode on contact, releasing deadly clouds of spores that can disorient or kill you. It's like if a tank had the ability to throw grenades. Oh, and did we mention they're surprisingly fast in close quarters? You're not sneaking past one of these. If you encounter a bloater, it's fight or die. Bring fire, explosives, and nerves of steel.
Shamblers? Is that what they called them? Yeah. Where the hell do Shamblers come from?
Shambler. Now, Shamblers are a bit of a wild card. Introduced in The Last of Us Part 2, they're like the bloater's moldy cousin. These things are believed to form in wet, humid environments. Think Seattle's flooded streets or coastal cities like Santa Barbara. While bloaters develop in dry climates, Shamblers are the swamp variant. Instead of tanky armor, Shamblers are big, mushy, and dripping with acid pustules. Get too close, and they'll release clouds of corrosive gas that burns through flesh. If they die near you, those acid sacs explode, so it's never safe, even when they're down. They're not as physically strong as bloaters, but they're more aggressive. They charge, they slam, and they explode. One Shambler took out multiple WLF soldiers during Ellie's time in Seattle. And let's be honest, getting melted alive is one of the worst ways to go in this universe. The worst part? They show up in unexpected places, sometimes living alongside stalkers. So just when you think you're dealing with a regular infected group, a Shambler might pop out and ruin your day.
All right.
Rat King. Here it is, the final boss of all infected, the stuff of nightmares. The Rat King. This thing's a walking, roaring monument to everything the Cordyceps infection can become after 25 years of unchecked growth. Found in the lower levels of Seattle's hospital, the Rat King is a massive, grotesque fusion of stalkers, clickers, and a bloater, all fused together into one horrifying superorganism. It's believed the Rat King was born from the very first people infected in Seattle, sealed off in a spore-heavy environment. Over decades, the fungus didn't just consume them, it fused them into each other. Arms, legs, torsos. It's all connected into one massive, moving hive of death. The Rat King is unbelievably strong. It smashes through ambulances, walls, and concrete like paper. But it's not just one target, it's many. As you damage the mass, individual infected begin to break off. One of them acts like a stalker, but can throw toxic sacs like a bloater. Each one is its own threat. Fighting the Rat King isn't just a battle, it's a survival test. You need every bullet, every medkit, and every ounce of courage. This isn't a normal infected encounter. It's a showdown with the evolution of the infection itself. Honorable mentions. There are also smaller oddities and environmental variants like infected stuck to walls, their bodies long gone but their fungal growth still spreading spores. These husks don't move, but they're deadly if you walk into their airspace unprepared. And then you've got those terrifying moments where infected aren't fully transitioned, like the stalker crawling out of the Rat King. The line between stages is blurred sometimes, especially when the environment influences how they mutate. Our nerdy thoughts. What makes the infected in The Last of Us so disturbing isn't just their appearance, it's the progression. You can literally track the loss of humanity as each stage strips away more identity, more control, more features. From a screaming runner to a blind armored clicker, to the towering brute of a bloater, or the grotesque fusion of the Rat King, every step is a descent into nightmare. It's not just about survival, it's about watching what could happen to you, to your friends, to everyone, if you let your guard down. The infected aren't just enemies, they're warnings. And with the Cordyceps fungus constantly adapting and evolving, who knows what variants could appear in the future? Let us know. Which infected encounter shook you the most? Was it your first clicker, that subway Shambler ambush, or the Rat King smashing through the ambulance like it was made of cardboard? Drop your horror stories in the comments. And remember, stay quiet, stay alert, and never run out of shivs.